Coming up on the Q30 Newscast, while students are getting ready for this weekend's May weekend events, the Department of Public Safety say they are also prepared.
We pretty much got a handle on this. We've been doing it for a long time.
The protesting continues after an officer-involved shooting last week. Tomorrow, New Haven and Hamden residents will march to the Yale president's house to demand answers.
And with Earth Day Monday, students were celebrating today, learning about Quinnipiac's recycling system and how they can lessen their own carbon footprint.
All this and more coming up on the Q30 Newscast. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Q30 Newscast. I'm Kate Pattyfoot.
And I'm Kelly Ryan. We have a lot of things to get into tonight. This weekend is May Weekend, a well-known end-of-the-year tradition at Quinnipiac. Students look forward to May Weekend to get together with friends before the semester is over, and they spend time outside now that the weather is nice. But May Weekend has a tendency to get a little rowdy on campus. In the past, there has been lots of damage done to residence halls, including punched out ceiling tiles and broken windows. Q30 sat down with Quinnipiac Public Safety Officer Jimmy Neely to talk about how the department is preparing for this year's May Weekend.
We'll have a few extra officers, but we'll be doing our regular routine of patrolling, checking for safety and security. We do a very good job in that. We get a lot of practice on the weekends with Hogan Road, so we pretty much have that down packed,
Last Tuesday, Hamden Police and Yale University Police were involved in a shooting in New Haven where a 22-year-old passenger was shot in the face. Officers say the car the passenger was in matched the description of the one at the scene of an armed robbery in Hamden. Brooke Riley has more.
More than a week has passed since two Hamden and Yale police officers opened fire on a car in New Haven, but the investigation continues.
Shots fired! 20 shots fired, Argyle.
Officers Devin Eaton and Terrence Pollock were investigating what was believed to be an armed robbery when they shot into a car driven by 21-year-old Paul Witherspoon with 22-year-old Stephanie Washington in the passenger seat. The shots injuring Washington. Connecticut State Police are conducting the investigation and have not yet found any evidence of a gun in the targeted vehicle. However, they did release the body camera video from Officer Eaton. Q30 News reached out to the Connecticut State Police, but they have not yet gotten back to us. There have been multiple protests in Hamden and New Haven following the incident, and among those protesters were several Quinnipiac students.
When my roommate had told me that there was a shooting involving Hamden police, I was kind of shocked. And so I really wanted to see what was going on. So obviously we each did our research on it, and then we decided to drive down and see what people were saying, and then maybe see what the chief was saying and things like that.
The protests moved between New Haven and Hamden.
One that we went to down in New Haven was very tame. It was actually kind of cohesive because the people were protesting the police, and then the same police officers they were protesting were also there to protect them. So, normally police, I feel like we try to disperse kind of thing, but they said they wanted to march to Hamden, and the police officer said okay. They got in their cars and drove slowly in front of the protest lines so that they could march all the way to Hamden if they pleased.
With Quinnipiac being a part of the greater New Haven area, these students wanted to recognize that this is something that took place in their community.
It was just something that kind of seen on social media, everything that had been happening. I just thought it would be important to show up kind of out of curiosity and to show support for the community, because I just feel like Quinnipiac doesn't really get involved in the greater New Haven community too much, and it's something I kind of like to see change.
They're looking to see if change will happen in the future.
I'd like to see more outreach between the community and the police department and the mayor's office in Hamden. I know there's a lot of frustration at the protests.
As Connecticut State Police continue to investigate the situation, another protest is planned for Thursday at 5:30 p.m. in New Haven. In Hamden, Brooke Riley, Q30 News.
The New Britain Herald reported today that Cho Cocker, a former adjunct professor at Quinnipiac, is now applying to a psychiatric program that would spare him prosecution after being arrested for harassing a student. The student, a woman from Southington, reported in July 2018 that her professor was, quote, obsessed with her, and Cocker was arrested for harassment. He was sending the woman romantic emails. Quinnipiac will inaugurate its 9th president, Judy Olian, on May 1st. Today, T-shirts were handed out in front of the Student Center to students who had registered for the inauguration events. Those events leading up to the ceremony begin on Monday, including a university-wide food drive. The students are asked to leave their leftover non-perishables at locations in the residence halls when they move out. Other events include a showcase for theater and arts, academic presentations, and TED Talks from QU faculty, students, and alumni. Check out inauguration.qu.edu for more information on all the pre-inauguration festivities.
The Yorkville residence halls are going to be a lot more full come next school year. Crescent will now consist of graduate students as well as undergraduate students. Floors 8 and 9 of Crescent will house the graduate students. There will be a liaison living amongst the students, but it will not be a traditional RA.
When students reach out to us, we will certainly suggest that as an option for them. But the other thing we're doing is working with Dr. Gina Frank, who works in the graduate school on the North Haven campus in student affairs, and she is helping us promote the opportunity through all of the graduate school connections that she has.
Commencement is right around the corner, and undergraduate, graduate, and law students picked up their cap and gowns at the graduation station this week. Today, yesterday, and Monday, graduating students had the opportunity to talk to staff members involved with planning the commencement while enjoying snacks and drinks. There were also pickup giveaways and a photo booth for graduates to capture some of their last moments here on campus with their friends. The annual undergraduate awards ceremony was held Monday in the Mount Carmel Auditorium. Student organizations and events were recognized. This year's Sorority of the Year was awarded to the women of Chi Omega. Fraternity of the Year was awarded to the men of Fiji. Member of the Year was awarded to Sean Dacey, former president of the Student Programming Board. And the Emerging Leader Award was given to Shariah Stevens, a Student Government Association freshman senator.
Quinnipiac announced Monday that 13 professors were recently promoted and granted tenure. After an extensive evaluation looking at each professor's teaching, research, and service activities, the tenured professors include Edrusi Aduwu, Ruby L. Copperdley, Margaret Gray, Mary Ho, Stephanie Jacobson, Stephen McGuinn, Martine Marione, Sheila Maloney, Rashida Parks, Jeffrey Says Foy, Therese Sprinkle, Molly Annity, and Robert Yassin. Their new status is effective at the start of the 2019-2020 academic year, and congratulations to these faculty members. After 11 days of walking the picket line, Stop & Shop employees are back on the job. Stop & Shop announced Sunday it reached tentative agreements with the unions ending those strikes. The 3-year agreements include increased pay for all employees, continued health coverage, and ongoing pension benefits. The agreements are, though, subject to ratification votes by members of each of those union locals. Stop & Shop officials said the main priority for this week was restocking the stores. They also thanked customers for their patience and understanding during the time of the strikes. Stop & Shop locations have now returned to their normal hours of operation.
Hamden police are looking for a man who allegedly robbed a Dunkin' Donuts. Hamden police said that the suspect waited online. Then, when he got to the register, he handed a note to the employee. He wanted the money and that he had a gun on him. Police say they are looking for a dark Hispanic male driving a white minivan.
If you were planning on going to J. Rue's restaurant in North Haven for dinner anytime soon, you may want to reconsider. The Italian-American restaurant was rated with a C after its most recent health inspection. The Quinnipiac Valley Health District makes its way to all food service establishments in the state and gives them either an A, B, or C, depending on how well they follow the state's rules for food safety and sanitation. J. Rue's received the lowest rating during its last inspection, and a sign with the letter C can be seen in the restaurant's window.
Residents in Connecticut are still urging Governor Ned Lamont to rethink tolls in the state, and now Quinnipiac students are reacting to the news. Matt Fortin has the story.
New details emerging on the tolls planned for Connecticut highways. State lawmakers releasing some specific prices drivers will be facing if this bill passes.
It's unnecessary, especially because we haven't had it before.
And Quinnipiac students are reacting.
Probably not a good idea.
Megan Bongar is a health science major and says that she's worried about the added cost of commuting to her clinicals.
We already have limited income and gas is expensive, so tolls would probably add up.
Others say they'd be okay with the tolls, depending on where the money goes.
It's worth it for better roads.
Here are some of the numbers that the state says commuters will have to pay during rush hour. A trip from Stamford to New Haven will be $1.80. New Haven to Hartford, $1.72. And a drive from Danbury to Waterbury, $1.28. The plan could include up to 50 electronic gantries statewide.
It probably discouraged me from going a lot of places in the state because we have a lot of things on campus here, so I probably would try to avoid doing as many adventures.
But proponents of the bill say it's for the best and that they won't back down to the criticism.
I'm not having a conversation just based on pushback. I'm having a conversation on what we need to do, what's right for the state of Connecticut to encourage economic development.
If this does go through, drivers can expect to see tolls as soon as 2023. Reporting in Hamden, Matt Fortin, Q30 News.
Earth Day celebrations continued long after Monday.
That's right, and if you missed out on any of the Earth Day festivities, the fair today, you definitely missed out on a lot.
And the Clintons are making their way to Hamden this Friday, and another candidate has announced their bid in the 2020 presidential race.
We'll be right back.
Just threw that in there.
Welcome to the WQAQ Morning Show. Dan Ball and Emma Spagnolo joining you here from the QAQ studios in Hamden. And Emma, it is that time of year again.
Earth Day was this past Monday, but for students for environmental action, they celebrated it today with their first Earth Day fair on the quad. Students really felt as though this event is the start of a better Earth-friendly future at Quinnipiac. Let's take a look.
Like this banner behind me says, there's no Planet B. Students for Environmental Action Club had their first ever Earth Day fair on the quad today. I caught up with members of the e-board to find out more.
There's going to be a ton going on. Honestly, we're trying to have something for everyone. So if you don't really want to be outside, there's speakers inside who are going to be giving a lot of information on things that we can be doing better, things that are already happening in our community and in the world.
The Earth Day fair went from 11 this morning until 3 o'clock p.m. Inside the piazza, there were speakers who spoke for 20 minutes each.
Really big need for sustainability, and there's the passion for sustainability. Students love sustainability here on campus, and they know we need it, but they never really had an outlet to show that need. And now, by forming our club, we gave them that opportunity to do so.
Outside, there was different sustainable vendors from food, thrift stores, and lawn games. The Students for Environmental Action, or SEA Club, is new to Quinnipiac this year, but is already making a difference.
When it comes around Earth Day, it's really just a good time for people who don't even care about environmental issues to really get involved and see what's happening and how they can help, even in a small way, if they're not going to do anything on a political level. So we really just want to get people thinking about it and realizing that it is an issue that we need to focus on.
If you're interested about the environment and what you can do to save it, follow QU_SEA_ on Instagram to stay up to date on all of their work.
So I think it has the potential for being, a club that has a real ongoing program that is a meaningful program on campus.
Last night, the Relay for Life team held a Luminaria ceremony. It served as a remembrance event and a fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. The Quinnipiac community came together to decorate Luminaria bags honoring those fighting cancer or those who have lost their lives to the disease. The Luminaria bags were lit at the end of the ceremony, and today, food trucks were on the quad to continue raising money for the American Cancer Society. The Asian Student Alliance hosted Mia Mochi on Tuesday night. The event featured a slideshow presentation of Japanese animation and movie culture. Students indulged in sushi and Japanese sweets. There was also a table where people could make origami cranes that went towards Cranes for Cancer and a table to learn calligraphy. Quinnipiac Student Affairs will host an event to help students conquer their test anxiety going into finals week. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. in the Learning Commons, presenters will talk about ways to improve test scores and manage their stress surrounding exams. Students received an email from Student Affairs on Monday and can scan the code from the flyer included in that email to RSVP. There will also be free pizza.
Hamden is getting a new addition to town. A new trampoline park is expected to be opening this summer. Fun's Trampoline Park, Fun with the Z, will open in the long, vacant former Stop and Shop in the Putman Place Shopping Center on Dixwell Avenue. The park will be filled with trampolines, spider walls, rock walls, and more. When watching the Miss Universe pageant this May, make sure to remember the name, Acacia Courtney. Courtney is from Hamden and will be competing in the 2-hour-long event. Women from all over the 50 states, including the District of Columbia, will be competing in the 2019 Miss USA competition.
Bill and Hillary Clinton will be at the Toyota Oakdale Theater in Wallingford Friday night as part of their nationwide arena tour, An Evening with the Clintons. The tour was launched in November of last year and has been marketed as an up-and-close and personal event. Star Jones will moderate the Clintons' Connecticut stop. Bill and Hillary will tell stories of what they believe are the most important memories from American history. The couple will visit Washington, D.C. on Saturday before they make their way to Boston Tuesday night.
An update on the list of the 2020 presidential candidates.
And the possibility of impeachment, something some Democrats are still actively looking into. Cassidy Berger is here with this week's political news.
Thanks, Kay and Kelly. Tonight's political news is all about the road to the 2020 election. After months of speculation as to whether or not former Vice President Joe Biden will announce a 2020 presidential run, an announcement will be made tomorrow declaring his official campaign. According to MSNBC, Biden will make the announcement tomorrow via a video. 5 Democrats already in the 2020 presidential race hosted televised forums in New Hampshire this past Monday. Since New Hampshire is the first state in the primaries, Democrats are racing to stand out among a massive group of candidates. So far, currently 19 Democrats have declared their campaigns for president. One particular candidate has announced her stance on higher education. This week, Senator Elizabeth Warren pledged to cancel student loan debt in her presidential campaign. Her $1.2 trillion plan promises to cancel most student loan debt and eliminate tuition at all public colleges. Warren intends to pay for this plan through revenue from a wealth tax. She proposed a 2% tax on wealth over $50 million and a 3% tax on wealth over $1 billion. The plan would forgive $50,000 of student loans in households earning less than $100,000 each year. Another issue dividing Democrats is impeachment of President Donald Trump. Among the Democrats that are active proponents of impeachment include California Senator Kamala Harris and Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Congress should take the steps towards impeachment.
I believe that every person in the Senate and the House ought to have to vote.
Other Democrats are hesitant on impeachment, including Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, who expressed concern about how impeachment could distract from other election issues, including health care and minimum wage. That's all for this week's political news. Back to you guys at the desk.
Okay, May weekend is almost here. Let's hope the sun stays out.
Plus, Chris Stacy's here to tell us all about the work Uber is doing to up its safety measures. Stay with us. Okay.
It's been really nice these past couple of days. May weekend's coming up. I'm hoping the sun will stick it out.
Me too. Tom, what do you have for us today?
Kay, Kelly, you know, it felt like summer today and yesterday, but you know what? It's not quite summertime yet. Don't pack away those jackets right yet. Let's take a buzz around Connecticut right now and see what the temperatures are right now. So starting off right here, New Haven is actually the warmest area in Connecticut right now. 55 degrees tonight. It's a pleasant night. No jacket required. Danbury and Torrington out in the northwestern region, you know, a little bit chillier tonight, 52 and 50. Don't sleep with the windows open. Hartford, Norwich, New London, all at a solid 53. It's a comfortable night. But let's get to the 7-day forecast. This is what you're all here for, waiting anyway. So let's get started. Today, great day on the quad. Everybody was out, you know, enjoying themselves out on the quad. It was great weather. It was sunny, 65 degrees. But it's probably going to be the best day of this week coming up. Moving forward to Thursday, you see 63 degrees. That's tomorrow, and a little bit more cloudy, a lot more cloud coverage. On Friday, things change. It's going to be 57 degrees. There's going to be 70% chance of rain. It's going to rain all day and all night, and that could affect some of the May weekend plans, in fact. Moving on forward to that weekend, Saturday, looking forward here, going to be partly cloudy, 60 degrees. Sunday's the real wild card, though. Sunday, patches of sun, patches of clouds, but also a chance for an afternoon shower. So Sunday, really just got to play it by ear. Not even sure how to dress for that one. Monday, 59 degrees, partly cloudy. And Tuesday, also a slight chance of rain, 54 degrees. So, you know, it's not quite time to pack away those jackets yet, but hey, it's springtime in Connecticut. Kay, Kelly, back to you.
It's been almost a month since the death of Samantha Josephson, a college student at University of South Carolina.
And in response, Uber has now launched a new safety initiative to keep riders safe. Chris Dacey has this and more news from around the nation. Chris?
Okay, Kelly, thanks. We'll start right there. After the death of the University of South Carolina student Samantha Josephson, Uber traveled to Columbia, South Carolina to announce new safety measures the company is taking to avoid future situations like this one. The new safety measures include an awareness campaign, new safety features in the app, and campus ride programs. The app will now send push notifications to your phone with reminders of what to do to make sure you're getting into the right car. In addition, Uber will donate $100,000 to the International Association of Campus Law Enforcement to educate students about rider safety. The major drug distribution company has been charged, along with 2 of its executives, for violating U.S. narcotic laws. Rochester Drug Cooperative was charged with Tuesday with conspiracy to violate narcotics laws, conspiracy to defraud the U.S., and willfully failing to file suspicious order reports. Former CEO Lawrence Dude and the third and William Patsurinsky was charged with conspiracy to distribute controlled substances and conspiracy to defraud the U.S. Both men will face life in prison. The U.S. Attorney's Office filed a lawsuit against the Rochester Drug Cooperative for, quote, penalties and injunctive relief, end quote. The online shopping giant Amazon and the retail giant Kohl's have extended their partnership. Kohl's has started a partnership with Amazon with stores in the Los Angeles and Chicago areas accepting Amazon returns. Now all Amazon customers can return their Amazon packages to any Kohl's stores. Kohl's CEO Michelle Gass believes that the new partnership with Amazon will bring younger people into the stores. She added that the hope will be the younger shoppers will stick around after returning their Amazon order. Gass also believes that this partnership will take the hassle out of Amazon returns. That's all from me. Back to the desk.
When we come back, Connor Olathorn has everything you need to know about what's going on with Quinnipiac sports.
The Q30 Newscast will continue right after this.
Connor, how's the latest updates on how our student athletes are performing?
I'd say they're looking great. Thank you for having me, Kay and Kelly, but especially the men's lacrosse team. They're looking forward to the playoff race. But first, they had to take on Monmouth on senior day. Let's take a look how they fared. So it's a heavy senior class on the team, 12 seniors, and we're going to jump right into the first quarter. QU up 3-0 here as Mike Fletcher snipes one, bar down, 4-0 Quinnipiac. And in the second quarter, Zach Clemente gets in one in the net. Now it's the Foster Cuomo show after halftime. Here he is wrapping around the net and thundering one into the net. That would be his 6th goal right there. And Quinnipiac here going to beat Monmouth on senior day 10-9. And now they're going to play Manhattan in Riverdale this coming Saturday. But staying with the theme of seniors, softball swept Ryder yesterday on their senior day. They honored 5 seniors before the doubleheader, including Erin Larson, Rebecca Drake, Taylor Troyan, and women's basketball own Jen Fay and pitcher Kendall Brundrett. And Brundrett, speaking of her, pitched a shutout in Game 1. And Kayla Jensen hit a walk-off single to win the game in the 8th inning, 1-0. And in Game 2, it was all about Lauren King. She got the nod on the mound. The Bobcats finished this one in regulation, winning 6-0. Jen Fay got a hit and a walk and scored twice. And Bridget Douglas finished game 2 for 2, perfect, and a double with 4 RBIs. Lauren King, again, the shutout, and is not allowed to run in over 17 innings pitched. And now moving on to women's lacrosse. They hosted their final game of the year against Monmouth. But unlike the men's team, they did not, unfortunately, come out on top. The game was close until the end of the first half when Monmouth went into halftime with an 11-4 lead. Freshman Gabby Beckett put up a valiant effort with a hat trick, and so did Allison Cood, adding 4 of her own. Cood now has 60 points on the year, and head coach Tanya Kodowicz told us about the future of the program.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking a lot about, 10 seniors leaving. That's, you're losing, your team's different next year. There's some big shoes to fill, and the pressure's on, but all good pressure and not to take it for granted.
And while the women's lacrosse season is over, a few teams are still planning for the postseason. And that's all I've got for the sports report. Back to you two on the desk.
Summer's coming, which means our Bobcats are off to internships and summer jobs.
Q30's Cassidy Berger and Luca Triant spoke to students to find out where they are headed in a couple of weeks.
This summer, I am working at a camp for children and adults with disabilities in Texas. So I'll be the head of a cabin, ensuring that all of our campers are having a safe and fun experience at camp.
I have a summer internship with Aetna and going to do IT project management with them. The free time, relax, take my time. I'm a veteran, so I get to just take it easy for the summer.
So I'm going to Morocco for 10 days. I have an anthropology class. It's a faculty-led abroad class. So we actually get an incomplete in the class, and then we finish it in Morocco. So we're going to be studying Arabic. We're going to be actually going to one of 2 fog collection sites in the world. So we get to hike and do that, and we get to kind of learn more about anthropology while we're there in the country doing field work.
I'm working for a physical therapist over the summer as an assistant, and then I'm also working as a lifeguard at my local country club.
And that's all we have for this week's Q30 Newscast. Thanks for watching. Be sure to visit our website, q30tv.com, for continued updates on all things news, sports, and entertainment.
And be sure to follow us on Twitter for news from around Quinnipiac and Hamden on the go. From all of us at the Q30 Newscast, both on air and behind the scenes, I'm Kelly Ryan.
And I'm Kay Pattyfoot. Good night, Bobcats.